Sketch Jam. Since it is CES 2022 right now, one of the hot topics at the show this year are electric vehicles. It's amazing, so many new electric vehicle releases. It's great to see so many brands adopting electric vehicles, so many trucks. And so I thought it'd be fun to do a little sketch session around electric cars. I've worked on some electric vehicles in the past, some concept work for Honda, some Chinese car companies. I worked on an electric boat, and I just thought it'd be cool to just do a little sketching on what an electric car could be. You know, I think it's kind of interesting. And by the way, as I sketch, feel free to ask questions in the chat. Happy to answer any questions on this or on anything else. It's interesting when I think about car design right now, right? Like, you think about like what brands like BMW are doing, right? Where the grills have gotten so comically large, you know, and the crazy thing about a lot of these grills on these vehicles is that they're completely non-functional, right? Like, you'll see they have these giant corner grills here, and you know, they'll look like there's tons of detail in them, and they'll look like this big opening. But if you look at this car in person, not on a photo on the internet, you'll look at this and realize this is all just solid plastic. That air is not going anywhere. It's basically almost a black bumper. Same with what's going on inside these big grills. A lot of times there's just a few actual air openings, and the rest of it is just solid. And so many car makers are doing this, right? I don't want to just pick on BMW. You know, and you look at like a modern Lexus, right? I mean, the whole freaking thing is a grill. And it's just insane. Most cars, you know, even a combustion engine car, they typically only need like an air inlet like about that big. And the rest of this is all just fake. It's not really a grill, it's basically a black bumper. One of the worst offenders is actually Audi. They've kind of started the big grill trend, and now they've and some of you may know have owned a bunch of Audis in the past, but now I don't think there's a single one in the line that I would actually own. You know, I look at like the new S3, for example. I think like the whole front is like, it's like a giant grill. And then he's got these huge corner intakes. But again, this is all fake. You know, that is mostly just hard plastic. It's basically a plastic bumper. And then what happens? They got to put a license plate on it, right? So they just like tack a license plate on it right there. And it's so silly, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's silly. But now that we're seeing this shift away from internal combustion engine cars, right? We're moving to electric, and we need even less air intake, right? If you look at like the front of, let's say, like a Tesla Model 3, you know, that front is basically kind of sculpture, right? And they have just a tiny inlet down here. There's a couple little corner things, mostly plastic. A little bit of air comes in, right? And so I think we're gonna see, with the move to electric, the move away from these comical grills that you see on the Lexus and the BMWs, and a move towards something that's much cleaner and more modern. In a way, it's a little bit like architecture, right? Like I think of like the Baroque period in architecture. Like a Baroque cathedral, right? It's like crazy detailed, right? And that's basically what this BMW is. It's like Notre Dame, the cathedral, right? It's got all these like flying buttresses and big rose window and arches and decorations and gargoyles, and it's all just decorative, right? It doesn't really mean anything. And then you can get to something, in an electric vehicle, and you get to something that is much cleaner, more of a statement. Maybe more of like a Bauhaus piece of architecture. Very iconic. So anyway, I thought it'd be fun to sketch on that a little bit tonight. I don't have too much of a plan in mind, so I'm just gonna get started with some ballpoints here. Try to search out something simple, like as someone that has designed cars and worked on a lot of components of cars, but never really been in the car industry. I think it's kind of interesting to think about it more from like almost a product point of view of like how simple could something get, right? Then I think of like when we design a product, we often ask ourselves like, what can we take away? What can we get rid of? Let's start with the back view. And so thinking in kind of those kind of reductive terms of what can we take away? I'm just trying to think of like, how simple can I make this? I don't have too much of a plan here. I'm just searching around. And this kind of shoulder comes up over here. A bit of a rear deck. A little blobby right now, but tighten it down in an overlay. And when I start out sketches like this, I'm really just, again, searching, not focusing too much on the perspective or anything, just kind of playing. And I'll work it backwards into a better sketch once I have more of a sense of what I'm trying to do. Again, feel free to ask any questions as I go along here in the chat. Happy to answer anything. Not a terrible start, not a great start, not a terrible start. I'm gonna get a clean sheet over top here. I can, actually, you know what, before I do a clean sheet, I'm just gonna flip it over. Sometimes I find if I flip the sketch over, I can just see it a little bit differently. One of my instructors in school taught me to do that. He's a designer at Chrysler, Dan Zimmerman, amazing designer. He's always kind of sketching on both sides of the page. He'll do a drawing and then flip it over, do another drawing, same perspective, just tighten the design down. That line sloped down a little more. Pull this greenhouse up a lot more. Pull it forward and then push it down a little bit. Same with this little lip here. Lower that down a little bit from the other side. Yeah, already just those proportions are a lot better than the other side. Start kind of correcting some of the perspective mistakes. Some of those things weren't tapering properly in space. Let's do something a little interesting here. Try to do a little something unexpected with that window line. Maybe that's more of a hollow in there. So this is coming down and then in, and then maybe back out here, the light. I like kind of a clean bumper. Think of like a Mark V Golf. It's just simple. That's there to get hit when you're parking. It doesn't need a whole bunch of complication. I do like it when there's a nice designed in place for the license plate. It's like, you know there's gonna have to have one, but yet so many cars just kind of ignore it. Maybe we'll kind of make that little blackout zone down there. Kind of step back a little bit. All right, I think I'm ready to overlay it again. Get a clean sheet here. Okay, and at this point, got a little bit of a better sense of the design. So I'm gonna switch from ballpoints over to some Sharpies here. Some Sharpies. Let's see how this one is. Okay. So this way, now that I have a little bit of a sense of the design, I like going to this Sharpie because I could be a lot more gestural. Pull that out a little bit. You notice I'm almost just starting with kind of the outline of the vehicle. I really like to focus on what just that outer shape of the sketch is. You know, it's like if that outer shape feels good, the sketch is gonna feel good, in my opinion. Focus on getting this tail light area right here. This is kind of the key feature of the sketch. Let's get our do slightly squared off wheelhouses here. Soft square. I'm just going to indicate a wheel design. Barely going to do anything in there. You know, it's going to have to be kind of a flat arrow wheel. And I've got this kind of lower blackout area. I like that kind of negative space that makes on the bumper there. And we got this kind of descending part line. This part line kind of sweeps along here. And let's figure out what I'm gonna really do here. This back window. Gonna have that dive down a little bit more. Almost kind of like a an old Ford Probe kind of a thing going on there. Starting to come together. All right, now I'm gonna kind of black out the glass area, and I'm also gonna black out this lower portion of the bumper. So I want that to be basically a completely kind of black body part down there. And what I like to do, I'll come in here, I got this super huge Sharpie to get these areas. I like to bring them all the way to black. And then I'm gonna work back into them with white chalk and white pencil to get a sense of what's going on in the interior. Same down here. I know it seems scary using that huge Sharpie, but you just gotta go with it. See how it turns out. Okay, got that blacked in. I'm keeping it a Sharpie night tonight. I'm gonna get this white bar kind of roughed in while that black Sharpie dries. Now I have this kind of vertical edge on this light bar, and then there's kind of a slanting surface, so notice how I left a little bit of white there, letting the page come through to naturally kind of be my highlight in that spot. Clean up some of my edges here. Okay, let me get like a little bit of a dry Sharpie. Let's see if I can get one here. That one's too wet. That's what I'm looking for. So now I'm just gonna indicate form with the Sharpie. I see in the chat, Mechadon and Iskinder, what's up guys? Thanks for joining. So you see how I'm taking this kind of dry Sharpie to start defining this soft shoulder here. Same here. I'm gonna do like just a slight little bit of a line here. A very dry Sharpie, but great for getting these kind of gradients almost. And so this surface too, so if I'm gonna get a cross section in here, right, this is coming up, kind of a vertical wall that is angling in. This is coming up vertical wall again, angling in again, and then angling out. Vertical wall again, and then back into the deck in the center line of the hood, or center line of the back glass, So I want to put this into some shadow because this is angling downward. And then there's kind of a corner here, right? So we got this. Come down a little bit. And then there's going to be some light pooling at the corners here. Okay. Back to this Sharpie. Get a little bit of a sense of the ground plane here. Okay, and now I'm gonna, where'd my cap go for this one? I lost it. There it goes, put it on both sides of this. That's where it went. So now I'm gonna get a little bit of white chalk, if I can find it. A little bit of white chalk and a little bit of blue chalk. So just laying that chalk down pretty liberally there. Some of these upward facing surfaces. I'm going to bring in some white over here where there's light hitting it. And then a little bit of reflected light on all these bottom surfaces here, because I want to show that this is not shadow, this is actually part of the car. It's just black trim. Bit of a mess right now, but that's okay. We're gonna bring it back and take some of that blue out from here and come back in with my newer Sharpie, get some of these lines back. I love doing this part, actually. Hey Jack Kobe, good to see you in the chat. Yeah, bye cool gray marker, Jack says. Yeah, one of my other professors in college, Cliff Crapple, who's a designer, advanced design over at GM now, he used to do that dry marker technique all the time when I was in school. That's kind of where I picked it up from. And maybe there's a little bit of a reflection through here. And then in the interior, so we have this reflection going through here, but maybe we're gonna get just a little bit of a hint of what's going on the interior. So I'm gonna kind of lightly give you the sense, some back seats here, very gesturally, not gonna get too crazy. A little bit of a sense of the trim. A lot of analog sketching is like undoing what you just did and then redoing it. Clean this line up a little bit. I see it's a little not exactly in perspective. It's a little better. Okay. That's getting somewhere. Something. It's not the best sketch ever, but not terrible either. So I had this kind of little recessed area for the license plate here, if you remember. And our license plate is here. Let's see what else. I think I need a little bit more contrast on some of that Sharpie area. Just wants a little bit darker, not quite as dry. Shading in that tail lamp as well. This was my one that was very new. Just gonna thicken this line up a little bit, make it a little cleaner. It's kind of a focal point of the sketch. So let that line work be a little bit thicker there. Really kind of draw your eye in. All right, let me get a white marker here. I like these Unipascas. I used to use Molotovs, but these are, I find, stay a little bit nicer, a little bit longer, at least for me. I don't know, maybe I mistreat my Molotovs too much. So that pool. I know I'm going over my Sharpie lines that I just got in nicely, but it's okay. Work them back. Gonna hit a little bit at the top of this glass here. Notice how I'm leaving a little black, and then this white. It's like showing the thickness of the glass there. Like, you know, there'd be like the sheet metal, and then the trim, and then the glass. There'd be a little highlight along there. Maybe I want to put a highlight here too. A lot came out there, but that's okay. We're just gonna work with it. Be a really bold reflection. Use that to neaten some of this up. And then we're gonna get the same kind of that reflection carrying down here into the tail lamp. And that same kind of methodology that we're using here, the edge of the glass. I'm going to use that at the edge of the trim. Be careful not to put your, I always get my hand right into that white marker right after I get it in there. So be very careful. Coming up over here. gonna just fill the plate in. Then maybe there's just like some ventilation or something down here. I don't know. Maybe we should just leave it clean. You know what we could do? We could put a little corner light in. That could be a cool little detail. Should have done it down in here, but hard to work back out of that black, so. Oh, see, I just did it. Just got my hand in there. I need that to dry before I can work at it again. It's a little bit blue chalk in here in the wheels. Let's see, I think this was my faded one. And Skinner said he'd be nervous adding that much white. Me too. But sometimes it just comes out and you gotta work with it. What brand do you think this car should be? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Maybe this would be, I don't know if you all saw the Sony car that was released this week. Maybe this would be better looking as a Sony car than the Sony car. I thought the Sony car was nice, but could have almost been anything. Didn't really say Sony in any way to me. Just gonna do some hatching here for the ground plane. I don't want to make it black because I don't want it to get confused with this bottom part line on the car. So I'm just gonna do this cross hatch here. I'm trying to be very careful not to hit into my white. All right. Notice how I'm turning the page a lot too as I draw, right? Like, you know, your arm has natural ways that it goes, right? Your arm, you know, it moves in a kind of a full direction. So for me to kind of try to do this line this way, it's fighting against the natural kind of biomechanics of my arm. So switching this so I can naturally move, you know, my wrist joint moves like this, my elbow joint moves like this. So now I can more easily, naturally go with my body mechanics. Skinder, if you were scared by that white, you must be really scared by this. It's a little scary to use this sometimes, but sometimes it's the best thing. Just to get some really nice kind of brush marks almost. All right. Hopefully this is dried enough. I'll touch up some of this. Come back in here where we interrupted these dark lines. Kiro Tan says maybe it's a Pontiac. Oh, it hurt my feelings. Let's try to go with a brand that exists. And Skinder says maybe it's an Apple car. Maybe. It's pretty simple. I think I would have made it even simpler if I was going to make it for them. I'm going to fix up this wheel a little bit here. blend that out a little bit more. I'm just gonna get my blue, I'm kind of just using this blue on these upward facing surfaces, right? So this surface is also facing upward. Tighten up this license plate. Yeah, I think when you're doing things like that white reflection or using this big marker, it could be scary, but I think when you know how to fix things, you can kind of come back and work through them, it becomes less scary, right? Because you're like, well, I could tune that up, I could fix it up. It's always Photoshop. If that fails, get a little reflection in here, match that reflection. And it's always a clean sheet of paper below this one, right? I mean, how long have we been doing this for? Like 30 minutes or so? 42 minutes. Not a huge investment to just start over if we need to. Okay, get a white pencil here. Just work through this a little bit more, a little tighter than I can get with the white pen. Not as white, but define that bottom edge a little more there. Okay. Work back into my very subtle hinting to the seats there. See, we got this pillar over here. Just getting a little bit of a hint of that. Right, so you got this little part coming up over here. Feather that out a little bit. Yeah, Jack says a long time ago I told him to never be scared of ruining a sketch. That's right, it's just paper, right? Just paper and time. You know how many sketches I've ruined? I mean, look how many sketches it took me to get to just this not that great sketch, right? And then do this sketch, this sketch. Get a little bit of white up here. Little reflections there that are carrying down. All right, I'm gonna make an executive decision here and put a Sony logo on this thing. put that, I don't know where I want it. Do I want it to go across here? Do I want it to be kind of off to the side? I guess I'll put it across the back here. Hint of a little more interest in these tail lights here. More contrast through there. And define the bottom edge of those a little better too. You know, it's not every line has to be this like, right? Like sometimes you just gotta be slow and controlled at it. Labor over it a little bit. Show it a little love. Let's see. Probably be a trunk lid here. You know, little things like that, little details, help make the sketch a little bit more believable. It also helps show the form, right? I'm really kind of working down into the form. Maybe that trunk lid just comes over the bumper a little bit. Always a little scary to add details like that so late in the sketch, but I think it helps it a little bit. Okay, and now I want to come in here. Let's see if this pen will work. To show off some of these little details I just added. Yeah, this is a nice little Pentel Milky Pop pen. Nice for getting a little more detail on these bright white lines. Milky Pop. Yeah, I think that, just that little detail of that line just brings in a little something there. Now that I got this pen, I'm like, where else can I use it? Maybe we should have it say something on the license plate. Just have it say EV. All right, I think we are pretty much done. This little Sony EV here. Still getting used to signing 2022. Again, really just thinking about how many EVs are at CES this year. It's so awesome to see. Just transition that's kind of happening right in front of our eyes here, where all these companies are debuting electric vehicles. You had Chevy announce their electric Silverado pickup today. I think they also announced a new Bolt. Sony announced their 2 cars. See if they make them. You know, they say they're thinking about it. I'm a little dubious. Always a little dubious when a non-car maker says they're gonna make a car. I think it's, you know, they can't even ship PlayStations. They're gonna ship a car. But I do like that car, so I like it if they did ship it. Adding a little bit of surface definition there. Just a little bit of a witness line here. I find that whenever I say I'm done, it takes I'm like 10 minutes away from being done when I say I'm done. Just get kind of a little more contrast in this area of the sketch. This is, the closest area of the sketch to us, this corner basically. So I want to really have a lot of contrast there. I'm kind of trying to pull your eye inward, right? I don't want your eye shooting out. I want your eye kind of being right in here. And I tend to like a lot of contrast. Come back with my white. Really gonna try not to get my hands in this late stage of the sketch. Bad. I think I'll probably take a picture of this. I'll probably smoosh the proportions down a little bit. It's a little bit tall because to get the camera over here, I'm a little bit back from the sketch, so I'm a little bit at an angle. But if I tilt it up so that I can see it perfectly, it just needs to kind of like in Photoshop go scooch down a little bit, but that's an easy fix. Get that white pen through here. Just gotta neaten this up a little bit with the white pen. Yeah, I think I probably, if I had another hour with y'all, I would just overlay this one more time, scooch it down a little bit, probably change a few details here and there. But overall, it's not bad. Neatening up some of these reflections here. A little bit of a reflection on the very top edge of the tail lamp here as it hits the sheet metal. kind of come in here, define this a little bit more. You can't barely see it. Just kind of define the edge of this subtle shelf. And kind of pull a center line through there. Too dark. Little touch-ups. Again, kind of getting some contrast in that corner. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining. Hope you enjoyed it. Maybe if you sketched along, and post a sketch on Instagram, tag me in it. Love to see it. You want to see more stuff like this? You know, give it a like, a subscribe, all those silly things everybody always tells you to do. But yeah, thanks for joining along. I'll try to do another one of these soon. All right, everybody, have a good night.